Spidey vs Venom, the ultimate showdown. In this page, we don't just create websites. We create websites that touches the lives of people. So today's video goes to our supporters who are fans to Marvel Studio. We're going to create a Spidey vs Venom page, and all we need is HTML and CSS. So before we start, let's see a preview of how this project is going to look like. I structured the skeleton of the page using HTML, which I had this. And I added flesh to it using CSS, which I end up having this. And for the final result, this is what I'm having. If you want the source code to this project, the link is in the description box, or check my bio. So if you're ready to level up your skills, hit that subscribe button and let's get started. Now, in the VS Code, we have linked the HTML file to the CSS file and we give it a title name, Spidey vs Venom. In the body tag, we're going to create a nav, which is going to be our navbar. Within it, we're going to insert a div with the class name of logo. And we're going to insert an image, which is going to be our logo. Below the nav tag, we're going to create a section, which we're going to give the section to have a class name of hero. And this hero section is going to be our main area focus of the design. Within the section, we're going to create a div with a class name of content, which is going to contain our H1 paragraph and buttons. For the H1, first we're going to give it a text of Spidey vs Venom, but we're going to use span to highlight the Venom. Below the H1, we're going to create a paragraph, which is going to have a text of the ultimate showdown. Below the paragraph, we're also going to create another paragraph with a class name of if, and we're going to insert a text inside. Now we're going to need two buttons. The first button, we're going to make it to have a text of Spidey. We're going to copy it and we're going to paste it the second time. The second one, we're going to make it to have a text of Venom. Now below it, we're going to create another div with a class name of social, which is going to contain our social icons. But for the icons, we're going to use images. So the first one, we're going to select our first image, which we're going to copy it and we're going to paste it 4 times. We're going to change the second image to be Facebook PNG, so as the third image also, and the fourth image also to be having a different image. Now to our browser now, this is actually what we're having here as raw data. We're going to head to the CSS and add some flesh to it, which we're going to give it a universal styling first. For the universal styling, first we're going to give it a margin of 0 and we're going to give it a padding of 0. Next, we're going to set box sizing to be border box. Then we're going to give it a font family, which we're going to use the system UI. Now we're going to target the body of the page, which the first thing we're going to do, we're going to give the body a height, which we're going to say 100V. For the background, we're going to give it a background image, which we're going to say URL and go to the image folder and select our wallpaper JPEG. After it, we're going to give it a no repeat which is going to help the image not to repeat multiple times. But because we want the image to have a dark layer on it, we're going to use linear gradient, which we're going to select 2 colors, which is both are black colors. But because the 2 black colors is going to block the image, we're going to drop the opacity. Both the colors are going to have an opacity of 0.8, which is going to have the image to appear but in a dark layer. Below it, we're going to give it a background size, which is going to be cover. And for the background position, we're going to make it to be center, which the main focus of the image is going to be in the center of the image. Now, in our HTML here, we're going to target our nav, which contains our logo. So back to our CSS, we're going to target the nav. The first thing we're going to give for the nav, we're going to give it a position, which is going to be fixed. We're going to give it a top of 0 and a left of 0, which we want it to consume a space of 50% width. To give it a padding, we're going to say we need a 10 pixel space from the top and bottom and 35 pixel space from the left and right. For the background color, we're going to make it to be transparent. Now we're going to target the logo itself, which we say nav and we target .logo. First, we need the logo to have a space of 150 pixels. Then we need the height also to be 150 pixels. Now, we're going to target the image of the logo itself, which we're going to say the width to be 100%. 100% meaning it's going to consume 150 pixels. Height is also 150 pixels, which we said 100%. For the object fit, we're going to say contain. Now, in our HTML here, we're going to target our hero section, which contains our content. So in our CSS here, we're going to target the hero section. The first thing, we're going to give it a width, which we want it to consume 100% of the body. Then we're going to give it a height of 100 VH. We need to have a position of relative, because we're going to adjust the content div based on position of absolute. So now we're going to target the content, which has our H1 paragraph and 2 buttons. But to position it, we're going to say position of absolute. Then we're going to give it a top space of 20% space from the top. And from the left, we're going to give it a space of 5%. We need it to have a space from the top and bottom, left and right, so we're going to use padding, which we say 10 pixel space from the top and bottom and 30 space from the left and right. For the maximum width we want it to consume is 600 pixels. Now we're going to target the content, and we're going to target the H1. The first styling we need for the H1 is to give it a font size. For the font size, we're going to make it to be 3.5 rem. For the font weight, we're going to say bold. And we want it to have a color of red. In our HTML here, we highlighted a span text of Venom. So we're going to give the span text to be having a color of white. Now we're going to target the second paragraph.
Are we ready? Can we handle it?
You guys, I'm too chip.
This laptop is f***ing crazy.
This thing is fast.
Super fast.
What?
You want silence?
You can't even hear it because it's quiet as a mouse.
This MacBook Pro is supercharged by the M4 family of chips, which means
I'm excited.
This is cool.
Oh, whoa.
Wow.
Are you a creative professional, a developer, or just someone that admires technology? Well, look no further, because today I bring to you the MacBook Pro. This sleek powerhouse is not just a laptop. It's a gateway to unparalleled performance, stunning visuals, and an ecosystem designed for productivity. The MacBook Pro has an all-day battery life, so you can be productive wherever you go. It has a magic keyboard with comfortable keys and a responsive trackpad, which make typing a breeze. It has a brand name of Apple, the model name is MacBook Pro, and the screen size is 14.2 inches. For the color, it depends on what you want. The CPU model is Apple M4, and it has a 24GB RAM space with an operating system of Mac OS. If you want more information about this system, the link is in the description box. It will lead you to the Amazon. So actually, this video is not a sponsored video, but an affiliate. Whenever you click and purchase something, I get commission out of it, which is also a way of supporting my channel also. So feel free to check out more information about this system. So with that, now let's head back to our tutorial. So we're going to target the content and give it a paragraph, which we're going to give it a color of red. We're going to give it a font size to be 1.5 rem. And the font weight is going to be bold for the paragraph. Now in the HTML here, we have another paragraph with a class name of if. So back to our CSS, we're going to target the paragraph. The first thing we're going to give it a margin from the top, which we want it to have a space of 10 pixels space from the top. And for the font size, we want it to be having a font size of 0.8 rem. For the color of the text, we're going to make it to be white smoke. Now in our HTML here, we're going to target our two buttons, our Spidey button and our Venom button, which we're going to say .content, and we're going to target the button. The first thing we're going to do for the button, we're going to give it a padding, which we're going to make the space from top and bottom to be 0.6 rem. And for the left and right, we're going to make it to be 3 rem. For the border radius, because we want the edges to be curved, we're going to make it to be 10 pixels. For the background color, we're going to make it to be red. Now, two buttons are going to be having a red color. For the cursor, we're going to make it to be pointer. Now we're going to target the text of the button, which we're going to give the text to have a color of white. And for the font weight, we're going to make the text to be bold. To give it a font size, we're going to make it to be 0.8 rem. And the text decoration is going to be none, so we don't want underlines. Now we want, when we take hover on the button, we want some changes to happen. So we're going to add a box shadow on it, which we're going to make it to be 0, 0 and 20 pixel blood, which we want a black color. Now when we hover, we're having some black shadows appearing. We need a space from the top of the button. So we're going to head to our button and give it a margin top of 15 pixels. For the second button, we're going to give it a class name of Ven, because we want it to have a different styling. So we're going to target the container and give it a .ven. For the background color, we're going to make it to be white. Now we're going to target the text of the Ven button, which we want it to have a color of text to be black. Now from our browser, this is actually what we're having, but we need a space between them. So we head back to our button, and we're going to give a margin of left, which is we're going to make it to be 15 pixel space from the left. Now in our HTML here, we're going to target our social icons. So we head back to the CSS and target the .socials. The first thing we need to position it. So first we're going to give it a margin from the top, which we're going to make it to be 30 pixel space from the top. Now we're going to target each of the images, which is each of our icons. We're going to give each icon to have a width of 30 pixels. And we want also to have a height of 30 pixels. Because we want it to be in a cycle, we're going to make the border radius to be 50%. For the border of each icon, we want it to have a 1 pixel solid border with a white color. For the background color of each icon, we want it to be white. And we're going to give a margin from the left of each icon to be 20 pixels. Now from our browser, this is actually what we're having here. Now we want, when we hover on the icon, we want some changes to happen. So we're going to target the image and give it a hover. So we're going to give it a box shadow, which we're going to make it to be 0, 0, 20 pixel blood. So we want it to spread 5 pixels more and give it a white color. Now when we hover, this is actually what we're having. But we want, when we hover, we want the cursor to appear. So that's why we inserted. Now in the HTML here, we're going to create a div with a class name of Spidey, which is going to contain an image inside. And if you want the source code to this our project that we're working on, I'll put a link in the description box, which will take you to my Patreon. Code is there. And for the future project that we're also going to work on, I will also put the code there. The link is in the description box. You can go and check the code over there on my Patreon page. Now, to our CSS here, we're going to go back to our CSS and target our Spidey div. So the first thing we're going to give for this div, we're going to give it a width and a height. For the height, we're going to make it to consume 95% space of the body. And for the weight, we're going to make it to consume 600 pixels of the body. Then we're going to position it. Then we're going to position using position of absolute. From the top, we want to have a space of just 2% space from the top. And from the right, we're going to make it to have a space of 0, meaning we don't want space from there. So we're going to target now the image itself. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to make it to consume weight. For the weight, we want it to consume 100% weight of the div, and we want it to consume 100% height of the div. We're going to give it an object fit, which we're going to give it a contain. For the object position, we're going to make it to be center because we want the main focus of the image to be in the center. Now, in our browser here, this is actually what we're having here. Our logo is there, our text is there, our two buttons, our icons, and our image are all set to go. And we have come to the end of this tutorial. If you've gained some out of this tutorial, please don't forget to like the video. And if you want to join us in exploring the world of web development, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And we will actually need your feedback because your feedback is what determines what we create next in our next video. If you want to check more amazing projects, there's a card here showing all over the screen. So just pick one and just go and check it out. I believe it will be helpful to you.